Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. So many people were poo-pooing the iPad before they even saw it. And so many people poo-poo the iPad and they've never used it. And how can you trust somebody's opinion about a product or a service if they've never actually used it? They've only heard about it, or, well, I've seen pictures and it's just the same as using it. No, it's not. I try to use everything if I plan on talking about it, or if I do talk about it, I'm careful to throw in the caveat that I may have never used it, but some people ask me for my opinion. I'd be careful about taking opinions from people about things that they've never really used before. So there's a controversy that's swelling around tablets. I don't know if you've heard about this, but every tablet that's on the market compares itself to the iPad. And I don't know if that's really fair. Well, not just to the iPad, but to every product that's comparing itself to the iPad. I mean, once you start comparing your product or service to somebody else's, you failed, whether you realize it or not. So we've written an article just today on 4 reasons you don't really need an iPad. And I don't know if you knew this. I mean, if you were to ask me, Chris, do you need an iPad? I say you need one. Absolutely, but not really. You could use one, though. So what are reasons you might not need an iPad? And I'm sure you're going to say, oh, because Android's better. That's fine. I'm sure that's a logical reason, not really addressing the true nature of what we've wanted to talk about. Just because it's the newest gadget on the market, one of the hottest selling gadgets this year, the iPad 2 specifically, and the iPad 1 was, of course, a hot seller as well, doesn't mean that you have to have it. It really doesn't. Brian JCR says HP Touchpad is a pretty good product. Have you done a play test on it? I have not. I've only played with it, for a few minutes, and it was nice. I don't know if it's really going anywhere. Depends on what HP decides to do with the HP Touchpad at some point in the future. I don't understand tablets. What's the point, really? Too small to be a computer, too big to be a mobile phone, etc., says Oh Pure Ghost. You're wrong there. The iPad is a computer. Even something like the Kindle Fire or the Samsung Galaxy Tab, those are computers. You look up the definition of computer, it's the same thing. Input, output. I mean, you can do that. It's got a screen. It's got a keyboard. You can do things with it. It's hardware, software. You compute. I had a conversation with my dad a few weeks ago, and I may have brought this up in an earlier video, and he was saying that he uses his iPad pretty much as his computer. Not for everything, of course. Sometimes he needs to do work in spreadsheets, and he prefers to use Microsoft Excel on the Windows desktop, and he's fine with that at this point in time. But the idea that you need something like an iPad is not really something that people talk about. It's like, you need the latest gadget. No, you don't. You really genuinely don't. Do I love the iPad? I do. Do I use it every day? No, I don't. And why would you not want an iPad? Because your mobile phone does everything you want it to do. Fine. Because your mobile computer, and I guess I have said the phone is a computer, but okay, your notebook computer, to clarify that, is doing fine. It's very lightweight. The battery lasts all day. You wouldn't need an iPad. Now, if you're still carrying around a notebook computer, a laptop, and the battery lasts a couple hours, unless you really care to walk around only nearby outlets or near outlets, wherever there happen to be sources of electrical power, as opposed to puppy power, really? I don't know what other kind of power there might be. But until we reach the time where we don't have to worry about recharging the battery, and using it heavily throughout the day, you really need to start thinking about devices that are going to last throughout the day, or certainly, attaching batteries or swapping batteries. But then that can be kind of a kludge. Honestly, swapping batteries is that's so 1989. It's genuinely, it's a kludge. Not to say that we wouldn't use additional batteries, but in terms of needing the iPad when you have a computer that is already working fine, to the earlier point, or the point that was made just a couple of minutes ago, and unfortunately I can't remember the user was watching live and made the comment live, if you have things that are working just fine, you don't need something new. It's not that the iPad could completely replace a desktop computer or a notebook computer, but it is a computer in and of itself. And there are things that it can do, the iPad, that other computers can't do. And vice versa. I mean, it depends on what you want and what you need, what's practical. If your phone does 99% of what you need done when you're on the go, the iPad is probably not for you. If your notebook computer does everything you need it to do, you don't need the iPad. But if you're in the market for something new, you want a nice touch experience, a fantastic array of software, and, really I would say, probably one of the best touch-based gaming platforms on the planet today, the iPad may be for you. Whether it's the first iPad, the second iPad, the third, the fourth, the fifth, however many iPads they make. Just because it's an option doesn't mean you have to throw it into your regular array of devices. So, we've got a few other reasons why you don't really need an iPad, and I'm sure we've got, let's see here. Sirion75 says, no, it's an additional device. You can't overclock a tablet, so it won't replace the PC, says Monroe111. You know what? Like a fraction of the market, like a small sliver of a market actually cares about overclocking. 99% of the galaxy is just like Honey Badger, just don't care. I used my Droid until I needed a new phone. The charger port broke inside the phone, so I had to get a new phone, so I bought an iPhone, says Greg Furrows. Hopefully that move was okay for you. Is he selling iPads, says Break C. No, actually, as I mentioned in a video yesterday, Apple kicked me out of their affiliate program, so I make zero money. I don't care whether or not Apple succeeds with the iPad. They don't care about me. They don't pay me anything. So this is completely unbiased opinion. The article that was written is also unbiased. After regular usage, we're telling you why you don't need an iPad, not to get one.